Good evening, folks. Shout out to my good friend BMAV and the Sky Alliance on server 1858. He's put up a couple of defense reports for reference. For those of you that don't know how to read these things, I'm going to try to give you a quick crash course. That's something we can go over. For those of you that do, well, some of you seen stuff on this level before, but there ain't many on this server that's really dug into this stuff, so I'll try not to be too Ben Stein right now. This is academic, so fuck, I'm in school. Alright, this happened in a challenge battle. Key numbers here, it's a siege attack, and we'll look at how that is here in a minute. Key numbers here, add these up, it's 2.4 billion power lost on the opponent's side, just over 1.4 billion lost on Sky's side. And when you win by a billion power against a siege attack, you've done something. Most times you lose points on a siege attack. And okay, right here I'll point out that it was just about 35 million troop rally, so slightly smaller than what I could have if there's enough people in the battlefield. Problem is we draw opponents like that and half our people are zeroed before we can put them in. Nobody rallies Serbs before battlefield season like we're doing. These guys do. And we'll talk about why that's important in a minute. Alright, key numbers here for a siege attack. I mean, pop up my shit. Okay, there we go. These are really all key numbers. That's a lot of work and quite a bit of money spent, but all these numbers are massive, but this is the key number here really for a siege attack. And then down here, so that caps out at 50%. His siege debuff is probably different, and in these big battles that's the first thing that comes at you. So my wife and I focusing on siege for a while. Siege debuff is easy to get. You got to have huge siege to do anything, and we're like the only ones that are building it. So okay, let's get back into it. First thing I want to point out, these guys are available in events only. The game's not going to give them to you. So again, for those critical of my wife's current defense, we're not going to waste our time with defensive generals that the game gives you. We're not going to waste the Blood of Ares, we're not going to waste the runestones, we're not going to waste the gems. We're going to do something more like this. She's already got Champlain as an assist, so this guy might be where we go. I don't know, but let's take a look at what typically happens just on these top layers. Your siege is going to get wiped, and this is where a good chunk of your kills are going to come from. The other layers, they'll get some kills, very little damage, but re-ins. Now, a mount attack, this dude here is just a beast mega coiner. We don't have anything the likes of him on 1222. So, just a caveat right there. But even his siege takes some casualties. But a small contingent amount in the reinforcements will get more kills. But a range attack usually follows, so you don't want to stick some mount in there, and it's not going to protect the high tier siege. They'll still get hit. It'll stop the attack sooner. The mount will get more kills, but you just send ground. Send your best ground for reinforcements. Unless you got mega siege buffs and the opponent doesn't. And then you can... But I don't recommend doing that. Okay. A note on Romulus. Look. Romulus has very high attack and he has march size increases. For siege, everything else, range, mount, ground, yeah, march size increase is probably more important than buffs. But what are you going to do? Your siege is going to splat. You're going to lose like almost everything you send in every siege layer. Okay, and those T14s and T15s, they give up more points to the opponent. The goal with a siege attack, you're trying to either take out the opponent's siege or you're trying to win on points, which means you try to send as few troops as you need to and take out as many of their siege as you can. So you really want to load up, not on the higher tiers, but if you're sending, you load up right here. See how there's more kills than there are losses? If you got a big siege and you got big refines, everything else, you send the T13s. The T11 attacks that I've seen, they do better if you flat refine your siege general. And I'm not joking. But I know because of march size, every other thing but siege, I'm more buffs over march size. Because you don't really want to send a lot. You want to send just enough. Because your siege is going to splat. You want to control how many points you give the opponent. So you want less troops to be more powerful with siege. So I go with the new guys. Romulus is not my preferred guy. And I'm having good results. Just a note on that. But, okay, siege is the first thing that comes at you because this next attack, range attack, take a minute to look at those key numbers. I circled them earlier. For those that don't know, for those of you who do, you've already looked at this page like me. Okay. That is 2 big gains for Sky right in a row with defense. Okay. Look at the debuffs. Look at the buffs. A 6,500 range attack buff is no slouch. Okay, what happens here? You'll notice there's no siege in the higher tiers. Okay. Ground troops get a lot of kills, very few losses. Mounted troops get wiped out. 0. That's typically what happens. These ground troops get a lot of kills, no losses. Okay, mounted troops get wiped out. 0. Alright. I know some of you are going to say, should have ghosted his mounted troops. He's got a hell of a lot more mounted troops than this. Can't draw a fucking arrow. But, okay. Trust me, he limited his losses. And then, of course, you have this situation. Well, you go on down the line, and the siege of his that did survive, I mean, he lost a few tiers of siege, but look what happens in the siege layers that survived. They didn't clear his siege. 3 million kills, no losses. No losses. That's why you got to try to clear the siege. The siege will eat up your ranged troops. I mean, 3 million kills, no losses. I mean, you're getting fucked on that deal if you're trying to hit that keep. Okay. So, and of course, these layers, by the time they got there, they just cleared everything out. But 1.8 million kills, 2.7 million kills, 3.6 million kills. Got that 500,000 losses. And they're 1 point apiece. So those do get involved. They play a part. Of course, again, all these defensive buffs and everything still needs a big guy in there. And look, that's 2.5 million kills right there. No losses. Okay. That always does well against a range attack, so that's nothing to sneeze at. Okay. Now, here's what got sent at it. Marches weren't put together too bad. And 10 players. Alright, compare that to me. I got zeroed. And compare that to, I don't quite have the buffs in the city. I don't quite have the debuffs. And the range attack was a bit bigger. And yeah, I forgot to go down fucking defensive checklist. Just ran into battlefield. Everybody's like, don't put her on the... I need the fucking resources, man. You know, this... You need resources at every turn to grow a keep like this. So yeah, I'm going to put her on there. In-city resource production. Need the fucking resources. So, I got to do my checklist. And we won't go into what happened down the line. I got fucking zeroed. And, yeah, probably the best range attack combination in the game, level 50. T16 troops. And, I mean, it's the difference between Continent 4 and Continent 5. But I want to point out there were no reinforcements at all. Over here by my lonesome. Aw, man! Okay, so There's the takeaways, comparison, contrast. Now let's take a look at their alliance. All right, you see this. We are facing opponents that have this. And we don't have it. We're not going to have it. I'll show you why in a minute. He's got Red Wings, K44, 26 billion. There's a K44 at 17 billion. He almost got Red Wings. They'll push him next. There's a K43 that's 32 billion. He's got Red Wings. There's a K44 at 30 billion. He's got Red Wings. This alliance is not even a year and a half old. Man, just next time you see all the goddamn arguing on World Chat and the fucking, I don't know, these people are probably going to kill each other at some point, I'm guessing. When you see that happen, just shake your head and say, this is why we can't have nice things. Alright. Now let's look at something. That's rallying Serbs is all I'm doing over here, because I'm prepping for them All-Star season. Okay. Now this is Continent 6, but the alliance I just showed you ranked number 8. We don't have top 10 shit here. And I know you say, well, these people got money. These people, they spend. It's more than that. It's how they do it. And they have conversations that are actually constructive toward, which, if you can get past the egos on this server, there really are some smart players here as far as what they know and what they're able to do and how they're able to, I don't know, how they're able to do these things and work these events. Like, let's look in here. Say you had gold helmets, redeem gold helmets. Right now there's him. He's available right now. You know, they understand that. They understand what this means. And, you know, things like that. They understand how to look at all this, read the general card, and so one copy of him is 1,200, and you get how many? Well, that's 300 with a triple down coupon, so times 4. One copy of him's $400. So, yeah, they're able to coordinate, strategize, and other things to help each other. We don't have that on this server, so we ain't gonna have it. So really, yeah, with the way this server 1222 really is, when you hear somebody talk about, well, it's better for the server, just they don't give a fuck about the server. There's too much deep-seated hatred on this server. Old scores, damn pissing contests over women, just a bunch of shit that we don't need, and we ain't never gonna have nothing like that. So yeah, my wife and I were over here rallying Cerberuses by ourselves. Hopefully we can put one more keep on the server that has Red Wings. That's something that the server doesn't have. And we're over here rallying all these Cerberuses without hijacking anybody else's alliance doing it, because a lot of you still need to kill Vikings, you still need to do barb keeps, you still need to do all that stuff to develop. And well, speed ups are like racing fuel in these battlefield seasons, and you got to come fully loaded because the opponent does. And I'm not just going to hijack somebody's alliance and just do nothing but Cerberuses. I mean, we take a break, kill world boss for gems, sure, you need those for dailies, but no Vikings, no Emers, no barbs, nothing. Just serb constantly all the fucking time. That would completely screw up a lot of y'all's development just for my Red Wings. You know, and it ain't even me that I'm trying to push. It's her. I'm trying to put Red Wings on that keep. We're coining and building on that one. I'm a free to play this year. So we're trying to do something, but as far as team coordination, man, the big money on this server is you're really in a fucking war zone being in an alliance with them, because they're just putting a target on themselves. Here, come blast me to hell because I'm not going to quit running you down or saying horrible things about your wife where I know you can see it. And it's just fucking stupid. The whole goddamn thing is stupid. And I honestly wish I could take this K43 that I got. I really do. I wish I could take this, and I wish I could put it right here in that spot and be done with this fucking server ain't going nowhere. 1222's not, because of the people here. And if you feel offended by that, I'm talking to you. You know, we've all played our part in it, and so today I've tried to uncouple from everything and quit being fucking stupid, and you know, try to come to my senses and do something that makes sense. But there ain't no helping this server. This server's a fucking war zone. It's like Israel and Palestine, you know, and we're just gonna keep losing, because that's what a house divided against itself is a loser. This house right here is a winner. This house, this united house, that's a winner. We ain't fucking going nowhere. Well, 22's not.